The early history of Old Russia is deeply intertwined with the cities of Pskov and Novgorod, two of the most significant medieval centers in the region. These cities played a pivotal role in shaping the cultural, political, and economic life of early Rus, serving as hubs of trade, governance, and spirituality. Their unique histories reflect the development of early Russian civilization and its connections to both the Byzantine and Western European worlds. The foundation of Novgorod, often referred to as Lord Novgorod the Great, was one of the first cities of Rus to gain prominence. Its origins date back to the 9th century, when the Slavic and Finno-Ugric tribes in the region established a settlement along the Volkhov River. According to the primary chronicle, a key medieval historical source, the Varangian prince Rurik was invited to rule over Novgorod in 862, marking the beginning of the Rurikid dynasty. Rurik's successors would go on to unite and expand the territories of Kiev and Rus, laying the foundation for what would later become the Russian state. Novgorod's location at the crossroads of important trade routes contributed to its rise as a major economic center. It was part of the Varangian to Greek trade route connecting the Baltic Sea to the Byzantine Empire. This strategic position allowed Novgorod to become a bustling hub of commerce, facilitating the exchange of goods such as furs, honey, and wax with Western Europe, Scandinavia, and Byzantium. Novgorod's unique political system. What set Novgorod apart from other medieval cities was its distinctive political system, which emphasized a degree of self-governance unusual for the time. From the 12th century onward, Novgorod was governed as a republic under a system known as the Veche, or assembly. The Veche was a democratic institution in which representatives of the city's free citizens could participate in decision-making processes. The city was led by a prince who was elected by the Veche, but his powers were limited by the assembly and the influential merchant class. This system of governance allowed Novgorod to maintain relative independence from the rest of Kievan Rus. The city's political structure was heavily influenced by its mercantile elite, who prioritized stability and economic prosperity. Novgorod's independence was also supported by its formidable defenses, including thick walls and fortified towers. The role of the Orthodox Church in Novgorod. The Orthodox Church played a central role in Novgorod's development. In 989, Prince Vladimir of Kiev adopted Christianity, and Novgorod became one of the first cities in Rus to convert. The city became a spiritual and cultural center, home to numerous monasteries and churches. The most famous of these is the Cathedral of St. Sophia, built in the mid-11th century. Its stunning architecture and rich iconography reflect Novgorod's close ties to Byzantine art and culture. Novgorod also became renowned for its school of icon painting, which flourished during the 12th and 13th centuries. Novgorodian icons are characterized by their vivid colors, elegant lines, and spiritual depth. These works of art were integral to the city's religious life and continue to be celebrated as masterpieces of Russian art. The rise of Pskov, located to the southwest of Novgorod, emerged as another important center of medieval Rus. Like Novgorod, Pskov's origins date back to the early Slavic settlements of the 9th and 10th centuries. By the 12th century, it had developed into a significant regional power. While initially under the influence of Novgorod, Pskov gradually established its independence. Pskov's strategic location near the borders of the Teutonic Order and Lithuania made it a critical military outpost. The city was frequently involved in conflicts with Western neighbors, particularly during the Northern Crusades. Despite these challenges, Pskov thrived as a center of trade and culture, benefiting from its position along key trade routes connecting the Baltic region to the interior of Rus. Pskov's political and religious life. Pskov's political system was similar to that of Novgorod, with a strong tradition of self-governance. The city was governed by a Vech and an elected prince whose authority was constrained by the local assembly. This political arrangement fostered a sense of civic identity and independence among Pskov's inhabitants. Religion played a crucial role in Pskov's identity, with the city becoming a bastion of orthodoxy on the western frontier of Rus. The Pskovian school of architecture and iconography developed its own distinctive style, characterized by simplicity and a focus on spiritual expression. The Trinity Cathedral, built within the Pskov Kremlin, known as the Krom, remains a symbol of the city's enduring faith and cultural heritage. The Mongol invasion and the role of Pskov and Novgorod. The Mongol invasion of Rus in the 13th century marked a turning point in the history of Pskov and Novgorod. While much of Kievan Rus was devastated by the Mongol armies, Novgorod and Pskov managed to avoid direct conquest. Their relative isolation in the northern regions and the difficulty of accessing their territories through dense forests and swamps protected them from destruction. Novgorod, in particular, negotiated a tribute arrangement with the Mongols, allowing it to retain a degree of autonomy. This arrangement enabled the city to continue its economic and cultural development during a period of widespread devastation in the rest of Rus. Pskov also played a crucial role in defending the western frontier of Rus during this period. The city's military importance grew as it faced repeated attacks from the Teutonic Order. In 1242, Pskov and Novgorod united under the leadership of Prince Alexander Nevsky to defeat the Teutonic Knights in the famous battle on the ice. This victory solidified the city's reputations as defenders of the Orthodox faith and the Russian lands. The decline of Novgorod and Pskov. The decline of Novgorod and Pskov as independent centers began in the late 15th century, as the Grand Duchy of Moscow emerged as the dominant power in Rus. Under Ivan III, Moscow sought to consolidate its control over the disparate regions of Rus. In 1478, Novgorod was annexed by Moscow, ending its centuries-long tradition of self-governance. The city's Vetch bell, a symbol of its independence, was removed and taken to Moscow. Pskov followed a similar trajectory, losing its independence in 1510 under Vasily III of Moscow. Both cities were integrated into the growing Muscovite state, which sought to centralize power and unify the Russian lands. Despite their eventual decline, Novgorod and Pskov left a profound legacy in Russian history. Their traditions of self-governance, cultural achievements, and military resilience shaped the development of the Russian state and its identity. Novgorod's democratic institutions and vibrant cultural life continued to be celebrated as symbols of early Russian ingenuity and autonomy. Pskov's role as a frontier stronghold and a center of orthodoxy highlights its importance in defending and preserving Russian culture. In modern times, both cities are recognized as UNESCO World Heritage Sites, with their medieval architecture and artistic heritage attracting scholars and tourists alike. The histories of Pskov and Novgorod serve as reminders of the rich and diverse tapestry of old Russia, offering valuable insights into the foundations of Russian civilization.